Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm back for another weekly check-in. Like I said last week, I'm going to try to keep this segment going. Had a lot of fun making it last week, so let's see if we can keep the momentum going. A lot of things to talk about. I got a bunch of pickups to discuss, some Last of Us 2 we'll discuss, and then some kind of just gaming type news we'll discuss as well. First, we'll start off with Arcade1Up NBA Jam Arcade. So I received mine on Monday. I ordered mine from Best Buy with the light up deck and all that stuff. So I got it Monday, put it together a little bit later than most people got it. But yeah, it's all good and fine. So I'm not going to do a separate video review, but I'll do kind of like a little overview of my thoughts. I've been playing it a lot this week. Love the cabinet. Love the cabinet. Absolutely. It's my sixth cabinet now. I gotta say, it's probably my favorite. Just having a lot of fun with it. I know there was a lot of stuff coming out just about the light up deck protector being like a complete joke, and I'm actually pretty impressed with it. It's better than and I guess it's one of those scenarios where after seeing all the photos and talks about it being kind of trash, my expectations were lowered. So when I got it, I was actually pleasantly surprised with it. It is just like an LED light, kind of like on the front of the deck. It doesn't go all the way around, but and when you look at like videos or pictures, it kind of exposes just like the little LED light. But I feel like when playing it or just having it on and just like it spreads the light pretty good in my opinion. So I'm definitely happy with the light up deck protector. Glad that I went for that version. I know some people aren't, but hey, to each their own. Really happy with it. This is my first one I've gotten also with the light up marquee. So I'm kind of going to go back and now that Arcade1Up is making the new light up marquees, I'm going to go back and try to replace all the ones that I have with that. If they don't get them out in a timely manner, I know they have them all coming soon type of thing, or their notify me button that they'll have on it. If they don't do them in a timely fashion, I may go the third party route, but for now I'd like to just wait for the ones coming from Arcade1Up. But really like the entire setup. The stools, nice. I think it's like my fourth or fifth stool I've gotten from them for now. This one is not adjustable, where a lot of the other ones I've gotten are like adjustable to where you can kind of set it at two different heights. But this one I just use exclusively for NBA Jam. But overall, like the gameplay is excellent. So I got the Sega Saturn version of NBA Jam Tournament Edition, and then the just plain NBA Jam version for Sega CD, and which I think are a lot of people think those are the two best versions. I also have other versions on the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, but I think those are the two best console versions of those games. And this is one of those games where it's such a better experience in the arcade. And I mean, I got it for, obviously, out of those games, the NBA Jam Tournament Edition, and NBA Hang Time. I got it for NBA Jam Tournament Edition. That's definitely was my favorite game. And I have NBA Hang Time, I think, on the Genesis, but I never played that in the arcade. I played probably NBA Jam and NBA Jam Tournament Edition are probably the two arcade games that I've played the most in my life, because during that time, when they came out, like in the early to mid '90s, I mean, I was in middle school, high school. I played high school basketball, so it's just a thing that I used to play with my friends at the arcade the most, and just had the most fun with. And I feel like it's just such a better experience as far as compared to consoles. Where to like some of the other games, they are slightly better, but this, I don't know. For me, it's a really good experience. And surprisingly enough, I've enjoyed the most NBA Hang Time. I've played that the most. When the cabinet came out, I was like, why do they even have NBA Hang Time on here? I don't care about it. I don't think I've ever played it in the arcade. To the point now where I played that the most. I still play the NBA Jam games, but I feel like Hang Time is my favorite game because they have a lot wider roster. You have a lot more players to pick from. The graphics are scaled up a little bit. And music is better and stuff like that. So the gameplay is pretty similar, but I do think the gameplay is a little bit better on Hang Time as well. So it definitely is my favorite, surprisingly, on the cabinet. Aside from that, the online play, I haven't done much of the online play. My issue is I've played a couple games. I've only played one full game, but problem is when you join an online game, the gameplay is actually smooth. Like I haven't noticed any lag or anything like that. But you can't really, from what I can tell, when you jump in a game, you don't know what you're getting into. So there's one time I got into a game and there was, a minute left or 45 seconds left, and it's like, why did I get dropped in a game like this? You can't really pick you just see available games. It doesn't tell you what team you can play as. It's just very limited in what details. You're just blindly jumping in. I know there's the favorite section, which I haven't added any favorites yet, which maybe then you could coordinate a little bit differently. But I mean, the gameplay itself, as far as online play, is pretty solid. But just the format of how you going in blindly, not knowing what you're getting, is kind of just hit or miss. So just be aware of that. But overall, super excited with that. And let's get on to some other stuff that's we have to talk about this week. So they had the new game Plus Expo this week, and there was a couple things that kind of stood out to me. Number one, Suda51 was on there and kind of just teased the new No More Heroes game, where he was talking randomly about just like other Nintendo indie games or his backlog and stuff like that. And in the background, he had the No More Heroes game that's going to be coming out on Switch playing, where he was just kind of blocking Travis, to where you could see a lot of stuff going on around. So it was a tease, but that was pretty cool to see. The big thing for me that came out of that was the Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 2. If you remember, they had Bloodstained Ritual of the Night that came out. A lot of people waited several years for that. I was one of those people. But then the Kickstarter met a certain goal, so they had Curse of the Moon came out and it came out a couple months before Ritual of the Night, maybe like 6 months or even more. Which is more like a 8-bit style of like kind of like more like Castlevania, to where the Ritual of the Night is the more the modern take of like a Castlevania type game. But Curse of the Moon, I love that game. That was a lot of fun, and to see that they're coming out with the second one, that's pretty awesome. Looks like it's gonna have what's his name, Zenjitsu, whatever his name is, because he was in both. He was in the Curse of the Moon and Ritual of the Night. Looks like he's gonna be in this one as well, and it looks like you have 3 playable characters, similar to how the first one did. And it looks like Miriam won't be back, from what I can tell from the trailer, but it looks like they're kind of subbing her with Dominique from the more recent game, the Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. If you played that game, you'll remember Dominique. It looks like she's going to be in that game with a couple other characters. That looks awesome. There's no release date that I've seen so far, but the gameplay looks a lot of fun. It looks like it probably will be out sometime this year, hopefully. But it's the only other thing I really noticed from there was the Samurai Showdown Neo Geo collection, which I know has been announced for a while now, but they kind of went a little bit more in depth, I feel, showing a trailer of it now. And I think that comes out digitally July 28th, and then there's also the physical collector's edition for the PS4 and Switch. It's available for pre-order now at limited run games until July 26th. So that's the only other thing that really they showed that I thought stood out in my opinion. Also this week they kind of got a little bit better trailer for the Crash Bandicoot 4. It's About Time. That comes out October 2nd, 2020. I've personally never played any of the Crash Bandicoot games. Every year, I feel like at Black Friday, I almost buy the Insane Trilogy, because it gets down to usually like 20, 25 bucks, maybe even like around 15 sometimes. But I'm always about to grab it, and then I just never end up doing, because I'm like, I just feel like I won't end up playing it, because I never played those games growing up, and I just don't know how much they appeal to me. And kind of when this one first got announced, I felt the same way. Like, who cares about Crash Bandicoot? This trailer actually appealed to me a little bit, to where I was like, you know what, I think I'd actually play that. The only issue is that it's going to be a $60 game. So it comes out on the PS4 and Xbox One. It's going to be a $60 game, and to me it looks like about like a $30 game. The good thing is that being that it's a PS4 title, it'll probably drop down to $30 probably pretty quick. $40-$30 range within a couple months coming out on the PS4 and Xbox One. That's my opinion. Or something like that was on the Switch would be $60 for 3 years after it came out. So, but it does look pretty good. So maybe down the road I may end up picking that out. But I know a lot of people are pretty excited about that. All right, so we'll go on to the next just because this will be a little bit quicker. It's just what I'm playing. So all I've really played this week is some more of the Last of Us Part 2. I've done a little bit of grinding on Battlefront 2 as far as Star Wars Battlefront 2 as far as just XP wise. But exclusively other than that, I've just been playing Last of Us Part 2. I got about, I think, close to 15 hours in the game now. It's going pretty good. I know last week I talked and said I was enjoying it. I liked it a lot. It's going okay. I will see how it goes from here. Like I said, I think I'm past the midway point. So I am enjoying it. I don't know how high I would put it, especially if I would put it like above the first one. There's a lot of things about it that I think are better than the first one. There's a lot of things that are definitely not better than the first one. And I know a lot of people just really hate the game. I don't hate it, not yet. We'll see. we'll see. But there are things that I do appreciate about it and like. And overall, I am enjoying the experience. It's not like blowing me away as far as like a completely new experience, not like that. But there are things that I do like, but I do have grievances with it. I don't know if I'll ever end up doing a review of it, but I may just do like an overview after I'm done, or a separate, I may do a separate video, just kind of just my overall impressions, or I may just talk about it on here when I'm finally done. But like I said, yeah, that's all that I'm playing right now. So on to just pickups. This is actually a rollover from last week. I was going to talk about this last week and I forgot. This is a Monster Hunter. What is it? I think it's like creator's model. Is what it is. So I got a couple of these now. They're kind of similar to like the they're made by Capcom. So this is like the figure builders, which I've done videos about these before. I have another, I think volume 12 that I may do a video for that I need to unbox. But that's kind of scale wise what they look like. But I kind of have found these of recently. I'm kind of start picking them up, so I'll probably do some videos down the road of this. But this is just a Wrathless, made by Capcom, and it's like I said, I think it's the creators. What is it? Yeah, creators model. I think is what it is. So detail on this is awesome. Really like it if you're a big Monster Hunter fan like I am. That I would look into like grabbing some of these because they're really nice quality. They're rubbery. They're kind of like rubbery. It's not like it's not like stone or nothing like that, but the quality of it and just the detail is actually really good. So I would look into it if you're a fan of the game like I am. Next up is Tricky Towers. So this was it Super Rare Games number 32. Haven't opened it up yet. My friend John put me on this game. This is the Tricky Towers Collector's Edition from Super Rare Games. I've had the digital now for probably a couple years now, but it's like a physics-based like puzzle type game, kind of like Tetris. Sometimes you'll just do you'll have a race to kind of build up higher, and like just stuff like you're building up like a kind of like a tower, and it kind of just it falls over and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun. It's a game I actually play quite a bit, so I'm appreciate him pointing that game out to me. So seeing the physical version of it was pretty cool. I've gotten quite a few games from from Super Rare Games before. They don't often do games that I really like, but when they do, they're pretty good quality, and they usually are ready when they release. They're usually shipped pretty soon after they release, which is nice compared to like limited run games. I also got Panzer Dragoon on the Sega Saturn. This is a lot of times with Saturn games, I may buy like a lot of like manuals. This case, I did that. I bought like this game for a long time was in like the under $50 range, $50 to $60 range. I mean, even if I saw it at a retro game store, it still would be like $55-$60, and I'm like, that's kind of too high. I was trying to wait and see if I could grab this like in 50 or under, and then I think when they came out with the Panzer Dragoon remake on the Switch this year, I think it drove up interest in this game. So this game is now going for pretty steadily over 70, close to like $100. I grabbed the manual, like a lot of Saturn manuals. I bought like a lot of like 20 manuals. So I ended up getting this manual when you price it out to like about like $3. So I was waiting to grab the disc and back insert. I finally found one, got it. So got a good deal on it overall. But this game is starting to get up there. So if you haven't got that game, you're a Saturn collector, you need it. You can, I guess, either wait for it to come down or just grab it now before it goes up higher. This is one that's actually this is Shatterhand on the NES. This is a game that has been probably number one on my NES list now for a couple years. NES games I typically don't like spending like over $50. This game goes in usually around like the $50 to $60 type range, and that's what I got. I ended up getting it at $450 is what I got it for off of eBay. But it's a really good game. It's a platformer. It came out kind of like I want to say it came out later, like in the NES Lite, but it's a really good quality game. But you just basically just run around as a platformer and you just basically break everything with your hand. Fun game, good solid NES games. Like I said, it's been up there on my list of games to get. I finally just pulled the trigger and got it. But it's another game that's kind of like starting to creep up there a little bit because it's a little bit rare game. Not as many people know about it, but it's a really solid game. Next up is the Miami or Hotline Miami collection. This was from Special Reserve Games. I ordered this a couple months ago. Finally came out and shipped. I think this has Hotline Miami 1 and 2 on here. So pretty cool. This is Raiden 4 on the Xbox 360. I love shmups a lot. This is the game, another one to where it's like this game I, for whatever reason, would always see it for like in like the $70 range, 70 plus, 60, $70 plus. You don't see it online that often. I actually got this I bought this separately because it comes with and I don't know if this was a GameStop exclusive, but it comes with the soundtrack and the actual disc itself. This did not come out on the PS3. I think there was like a different version that came on the PS3, which was digital only. And I don't know if this was a GameStop exclusive because the disc does say GameStop on it, the soundtrack that is at least. But I actually found the game case and manual for really cheap. I think like $30, and then I bought the soundtrack off of somebody for like $10 or $12 as well. So it actually came out a lot cheaper than what I've seen it for complete of late, which was a pretty good deal. It's a really good vertical scrolling shooter. Next up this was on sale this week, the Ori and the Will of the Wisp. This is the collector's editions for the Xbox One. This and the standard version were both on sale. The standard version was on sale for $20. This was on sale for $35. And it comes with a steel book and an art book. And the art book is like it's a really good art book. And it has like, I think it has like 150 plus pages. So solid. This goes for $50 normally. But it was on sale for $35. I see it's back up now, but I've seen it down on sale quite often. So it does go on sale from time and again. So if you are interested in that, I would just keep an eye on it. Wait until it drops back down because $35 I think is a really good price for that. Good set though. Next up is I got I ordered these a couple weeks ago. For some reason they must have got stuck up in shipping. These are Sega Visions magazines. I'm trying to collect all these. There's like 26 of them, I want to say. There's only like 26 Sega Visions. I probably got about 10 of them. I've referenced them in like videos before. It's like a Nintendo Power for Sega. So if you're a Sega fan, it's really cool to have these and look through. Very nostalgic. I've talked about them, like I said, in videos before. Awesome, love them. Still got quite a ways to go. I'm almost halfway there as far as that collection. And then lastly, this is this plate is what this is. So this is like steel. I got this. This is the first one that I've got. I'm gonna go hang it up now. I wanted to get this and put it over my Arcade1Up TMNT cabinet. I actually plan on order quite a bit more of these, so I'm gonna see how much I like this. To be honest, this is kind of like based on like the TMNT Hyperstone Heist cover, which I don't think it has Shredder on it. I think it's just this aspect right here. It's not as detailed as like I feel like it's a little bit. The details on it is not as much as I would like. I would like it to, I just don't feel like it's as crisp as I would like, which I'm glad that I got the small version, not the bigger, because then I think it would have been exposed a little bit. So I guess this cover art was probably made for just a, Genesis box, and maybe expanding it just made it kind of like not look all that great. But I mean, it looks okay. I'm just not completely blown away by it. So I do plan on ordering more, and when I get those, I'll let you know if I like those or not. But I'm going to put this up above my TMNT cabinet because I got kind of like a Turtles theme going on over there. And that is that. So let me know, guys, what y'all think about anything I talked about. What you think about that Curse of the Moon? If you got your NBA Jam cabinet, how you liking it? Are you planning on picking it up? I would highly advise it. It's an awesome cabinet. It's gonna be hard for a cabinet to beat that, I think, in my opinion. But it doesn't mean it won't happen. But that's it for this video, guys, and I'll see you guys next week. Later.